And we're going to start in Asheville. Our friend Jason Boyer, Chief Meteorologist at WLOS, joins us now on the Carolina Weather Group. Jason, we got to bring you back one of these times for good news, because it feels like Western North Carolina could be in for another big storm here. What are you looking like in your localized region?
Yeah, we're dealing with the same kind of headache that everybody else is dealing with. What type of winter weather will be the dominant winter weather is the big question here. And of course, microclimates play a huge role in any kind of situation. You throw in the complexities that we're dealing with all the different types of energy flying around, and it will certainly become problematic. Now, I'll tilt this down a little bit. You'll see that I'm really hammering home the impacts and what people can expect. We think freezing rain is going to have a high impact for our area at this point. Sleet is going to be mixed in, could be several hours of sleet in some cases. The snow is actually a lowering impact for us, as we've seen model run after model run really start to chip away at the snow totals and bring those ice totals more on the higher side. And of course, power travel impacts pretty high at this point for us here in Western North Carolina. Also been talking about that track and where the main energy goes. If it's farther inland, we get a little more mixed terrain possibilities west. And of course, we're looking at the icier scenario right now with that system diving a little farther south of our area and staying there, and thus locking in some colder air. So a lot to talk about, and showing all the different precip modes that you guys have been doing as well, and how much ice could accumulate. Obviously, we've been also talking about the weight of that ice. You know, it makes a huge difference between a quarter inch and you get above that to a half inch or more, and you're talking some possible catastrophic consequences with the weight of that ice, bringing branches down, maybe even trees. We also have the carryover effects from Helene back in September 2024. I mean, we still have trees that are weakened by Helene, and years later, almost, we're still talking about that. And that could play into this too. You put more weight on these trees, and they could certainly come down more easily in this situation. So that's certainly what we're focused on, urging people to stay home this weekend. If you don't have to travel, just do not, and ride this out.
Jason, that was definitely going to be one of my questions, because of all the regions we're talking to tonight, you guys were hit hardest by the impacts of Helene, which are still being felt across your region. So is there anything in particular that could play an extra hazard that is on the ground now that maybe otherwise wouldn't have been on the ground for previous winter storms?
Well, we lost a lot of vegetation too around these stream beds and creek beds. So there is more likelihood that you're going to get glazing on rocks, and certainly the potential for roadways to maybe get glazed over faster as well. Our soil temperatures have been dropping too recently because of the cold air locked in. But because of Helene, you also have to think about there's less shade in some of these roads, on some of these roads, I should say. And that might actually help in the long run if we can get some sun to work down onto these road surfaces. It might actually be a benefit, but overall, we're still expecting pretty big impacts.
Now, your market is real interesting, your TV market there. You have Western North Carolina, the Asheville area, but you also do the Upstate, Greenville, Spartanburg. What are the differences that we can expect between those two areas?
Yeah, it looks like the Euro wants to make that line of differentiation between snow and ice somewhere north of I-85, maybe even north of I-40, really. And the GFS, as Frank mentioned, the colder solution is trying to bring the ice line farther south, maybe even south of I-85. We certainly think the upstate is going to experience winter type weather. It's just a matter of how much can we squeeze as freezing rain on them, maybe sleet mixed in at times. And there's even the possibility that there's that warm nose that comes in later in the model run, and certainly in the storm, that could change it over to rain for some places in the upstate. So they're going to get a mixed bag, and obviously could have some major effects too if that comes to fruition.
That dreaded warm nose. Jason, have you put out a forecast map yet for ice or snow? Or if not, when can people expect to see that from you?
Well, I have been showing more of the European data at this point, and we also have the capability of showing KML files. If you're not familiar with that, that's coming from the WPC, the Weather Prediction Center, showing the impacts of or a likelihood of accumulating or accretion of 1/10 of an inch of ice, a 1/4 inch of ice or more. And that's kind of where we're playing it right now, showing those scenarios and possibilities. In terms of actually getting down into exact amounts and putting them in different regions and microclimates, if you will, of our area, haven't gotten to that point, but we're certainly looking at it probably within the next 24 hours.
All right. Lots of storm coverage to come. Where can people find you, Jason?
Of course, we're online. WLOS.com is where our main station page is. And I'm online, Facebook, Jason Boyer WX or Jason Boyer WLOS. That's the way to find me.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate your time. We're going to try to keep this show moving real tight tonight with everyone. I'm sure we could talk to everyone for like an hour. So I hope people check you out there at WLOS, Jason. I hope you guys stay safe, stay warm, and I hope our audience stays tuned as we continue to make our way around the region.